Thank you, Mr. Chairman, for hosting the leadership of the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers. The Corps plays a critical role for communities across the country, especially in my home state of Florida. Our ports, beaches, and hurricane preparedness depend on the Corps. We also are home to the Corps' largest environmental restoration endeavor in history, the restoration of the Florida Everglades. Assistant Secretary Tell and Lieutenant General Graham, you each carry a huge responsibility. However, I'm concerned with your ability to be successful given the conditions you are facing. In just 9 months, the Trump administration has put the Corps under tremendous pressure. First, Corps funding and budgets are getting slashed, with the president recommending major cuts to the Corps' most essential missions. Second, the Corps is losing thousands of seasoned professionals through the deferred resignation programs, with over 3,000 Corps employees leaving since the beginning of this administration. Meanwhile, the federal hiring freeze means there is nobody new coming in to fill these roles. Third, the administration is forcing the Corps' hand for political gain by pushing for unscheduled water releases, requiring legally questionable permit expedites, blocking reasonable permit requests for renewable energy, and telling them to look the other way, while a detainment camp, Alligator Alcatraz, is constructed in the middle of the Corps' largest project, the Everglades restoration. Simply put, I question how the Corps is going to fulfill its mandate to address the navigation, flood control, the environmental restoration needs of our communities with too little funding and too few Corps employees, and going against its own careful science and engineering-based practices. Now that you have been confirmed, Secretary Tell, I hope we can see better leadership and decision-making from the Corps. The Corps needs consistent, robust funding to carry out its mission. In the next budget request, I hope to see full utilization of the available Harbor Maintenance Trust Fund dollars to keep our ports running efficiently and smoothing. This is essential for our local and national economies. I also hope to see funding for the environmental infrastructure projects that have become extremely popular in the last couple of quarters. There is a clear need and desire for water infrastructure funding, especially for our tribal and minority communities facing affordability challenges. Lastly, I need assurances that the Corps will stand up for itself and not allow things like Alligator Alcatraz to be constructed. I remained appalled that this detainment camp was allowed to be expanded and operated in the heart of the Everglades. The risk of disturbing the Everglades and therefore reversing decades of federal investment and progress is far too high. The Corps simply cannot sit by idly when something will have such a detrimental impact on the hard work of the Corps. And I will look for your commitment that no federal Everglades restoration funding will be spent to address any lingering consequences of this hugely misguided decision. Secretary Tell, I'm glad that you are here and hope you have been getting up to speed on all the critical projects that I'm sure my colleagues will be asking about. I look forward to working with you and getting the Corps back on track. There is a lot of work to be done, and our ports, our waterways, our communities, and our ecosystems are counting on you, both of you. Thank you, Mr. Chair.